Mark Levin, America's think tank. And you can call him at 877-381-3811.
Oil prices soar, food prices soar, stock prices dropping. Doesn't sound good to me. But Obama's handiwork is at play. Lest we forget, Obama in Ohio, October 2008, with Joe the plumber. Go.
Your new tax plan is going to tax me more, isn't it?
It's not that I want to punish your success. I just want to make sure that everybody who is behind you, that they've got a chance at success too. I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody.
There you go. That's Karl Marx. From October 17, this is important, 2008, what Obama said he would do. And I have it in full context, so I'm not accused of playing around with the clip. Cut 9, go.
The problem is not technical, and the problem is not, sufficient mastery of the legislative intricacies of Washington. The problem is, can you get the American people to say this is really important and force their representatives to do the right thing? That requires mobilizing a citizenry. That requires them understanding what is at stake. And climate change is a great example. When I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Even regardless of what I say about whether coal is good or bad, because I'm capping greenhouse gases, coal-powered plants, natural gas, you name it, whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers. You can already see what the arguments are going to be during the general election. People will say, Obama and Al Gore, these folks, they're going to destroy the economy. This is going to cost us $8 trillion or whatever their number is. If you can't persuade the American people that, yes, there is going to be some increase in electricity rates on the front end,
you said skyrocket.
Over the long term, because of combinations of more efficient energy usage and changing light bulbs and more efficient appliances.
Yeah, that'll do, light bulbs.
Let me improving how we can produce clean energy, that the economy will benefit. If we can't make that argument persuasively enough, you can be Lyndon Johnson. You can be the master of Washington. You're not going to get that done.
And that long, rambling nonsense, you can see the man has no idea what he's doing. But he does know the consequences of what he's doing. That is why I'm playing that. Energy prices are going to, quote, skyrocket, unquote. That's 3 years ago. That's what he said. That's what's happening. And that was January 17, 2008. He said something else. Remember, coal is the primary source for electricity in this country. He said this, cut 10, go.
Let me sort of describe my overall policy. I mean, what I've said is that we would put a cap and trade system in place that is as aggressive, if not more aggressive, than anybody else's out there. I was the first to call for 100% auction on the cap and trade system, which means that every unit of carbon or greenhouse gases was emitted would be charged to the polluter.
Stop. Now, think about that. Every unit of carbon dioxide emitted, or he says greenhouse gases emitted. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. So in other words, every unit of water vapor emitted, since water vapor is the largest element in greenhouse gases, he's completely clueless. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. But he says that the quote-unquote polluter, that is anyone who emits water vapor or anything that emits water vapor or carbon dioxide, which, of course, as you know, is used by plants through photosynthesis to create oxygen. That's a polluter? So we're all walking, talking polluters? Our pets are polluters? Livestock, they're polluters? Endangered species, they're polluters? The man talking about. And you should be charged, he said 100% auction on the cap and trade system. In other words, he would charge for every unit of carbon or greenhouse gases emitted. That's what he said. That would destroy our industries. That would destroy our farmers. No way could they survive. And suddenly they're all going to be called polluters. A farmer's a polluter because he has livestock? Oh, and you're a polluter if you have a lot of kids, too. The more kids you have, the bigger polluter you are. Get it? Because they exhale after they breathe in. That's how sick this is. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
That will create a market in which whatever technologies are out there that are being presented, whatever power plants that are being built, that they would have to meet the rigors of that market and the ratcheted down caps that are imposed every year.
Stop. So whatever's being done out there, whatever's being built out there, whoever's doing whatever, I'm going to impose all these costs on you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing. I have no idea how your industry works. I don't have a clue. It doesn't really matter, he says. I'm going to put a model that I've concocted between my ears on top of whatever you're doing, and I'm going to drive up your costs and, of course, drive many people out of business. This is what they've been doing at the Environmental Protection Agency. Go ahead.
So if somebody wants to build a coal-powered plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
Somebody's going to build a coal power plant, they can, but this will bankrupt them. We actually have a president, a federal government, that wants to bankrupt coal-powered plants that create electricity. Most of our plants that create electricity are coal-powered. We have so much coal in this nation. It's such a wonderful natural resource for us. And they write it off completely. So we're not going to use coal. So we're not going to drill in deep water. So we're not going to drill in new areas in and off Alaska. We're not going to drill off of California. We're not going to drill off of Florida. Well, where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Where do you think this stuff comes from? Alaska's out. The shorelines are out. The deep waters are out. The coal mines are out. Where the hell are we going to go? Where are we going to get it? This is why the price for oil and gasoline are going up. This is why the price for electricity is going up. Because it's an intentional part of his agenda. And I know it's still hard for people to understand that he means what he says, and he's doing what he said he would do. People want to candy coat this stuff and put a smiley face on it. Mark, what's this soft tyranny stuff? Well, you really think he wants to make us poorer? You really think he wants to spread the wealth? Listen to him. And look at what they're doing. I know it's the United States of America, and you can't believe it's happening, but it's happening. And it's not just him. His entire party has bought into this agenda. We are dealing with a party, with a cause, with a dogma, with a force that is contrary to everything you believe and everything that makes this great nation great. Of course what he's doing is intentional. It's not an accident. It's not just happening. Ask those coal miners who are out of work and those coal companies that had to shut down. Ask those guys that work on rigs, some of which have been moved and all of which have been shut down. Ask them what they see. Ask the farmers what the hell's going on now with them. Ask the fishermen. Go to New England. Ask them. Go to the Gulf. Go to the West Coast. Off of Washington and Oregon and California. Ask the fishermen what's happening to their industries. They're being destroyed. Not by a foreign force, by our own damn government. That's why fuel prices are going up. Not because of that freak dictator in Libya who's got another week or two to hang on by his fingernails at most. Not because of him. Because of our President of the United States and his party and the PA and the Interior Department. That's why. Because of our Justice Department. Look around you. You don't need to look overseas. That's what's going on. Finally, I told you this whole health care thing was never about health care. It's just more the same. You have to understand that everything this president does, there's a common thread. Destroy the free market system, replace it with authoritarian government. Control, control, control equals power for the rest of the time. That's how he sees it. That's how his party sees it. This Donald Berwick at the 60th anniversary celebration of Britain's socialized NHS in the UK in 2008. He said it with his own mouth. Cut 12, go.
You could have had a monstrous insurance industry of claims and rules and paper pushing instead of using your tax base to provide a single route of finance. You could have protected the wealthy and the well instead of recognizing that sick people tend to be poorer and that poor people tend to be sicker. And that any health care funding plan that is just, equitable, civilized, and humane must redistribute wealth from the richer among us to the poorer and the less fortunate. Excellent health care is by definition redistributional. Britain, you chose well.
What else do you need to know? That man is now in charge of Medicare and Medicaid. Obama must agree with him. He plucked him out of obscurity and put him right there. He must agree with the man, just like he must agree with his attorney general, a prominent attorney in a law firm that represented a score or more of the terrorists in Guantanamo Bay. Who the hell picks a guy like that as his attorney general? Obama, that's who. Every now and then, folks, it's time for a refresher. That's all.